Hello, I'm Dr. Dale Caldwell, host of Family Business World, and I'm so excited to have a special guest today, Keith Reynolds, and Lori may join us later. She's busy working. They're the owners of RVN TV that you're watching this show on right now. Keith, welcome.
Thank you for having me on, Dale.
Well, it's an honor to have you, and we're new to the family and really have met some of the many wonderful hosts you have. Can you tell me a little bit about the business and how did you start it and why did you start it and what's going on?
I don't know if I have just a half hour. It could be 2 hours for this, but we really, I was, working for Comcast. My company was one of the largest contractors for Comcast. And through that, I got to see kind of like the other side of Comcast, the TV, the network side of things. And, I always said something is, coming that's bigger than anything else. Right. Our company dissolved, my company dissolved. And, also as a entrepreneur, I sat there and said, I will never be complacent again because, it kind of left me unemployed when they dissolved it.
Absolutely.
And, so I started this business. I saw this vision of, TV streaming world was coming into play, but it was probably about almost 15 years off.
Right.
But I saw what they were doing and building and research. So we started it and,
now you were also looking at probably the reality TV trends, right? They're moving
trends,
from just entertainment to discussion. Right?
Well, you think about it. 50 years ago, Kirk Douglas has a kid, Michael Douglas, and that's how the television world was. That's how it was done.
Right.
Now, the reality TV series like Who the Hell's Sookie, or Snooki, whatever. I didn't watch it that much, but seriously, you have these reality people come in, and it's kind of changed. And when it came in, it was good because it was authentic.
Right.
But I think over the time with anything, it's we overkill it to kind of make it more interesting.
Right.
But I think what the TV world is kind of missing is that people just want real things now. They really do. So that trend is kind of going off to the wayside a little. But
and the information. Podcasts now are incredibly popular, more popular than ever. And so this whole information. So tell me about how was the setup? How was RVN, for those that don't know, how was RVN TV set up?
As far as like the structure of the shows. We pretty much right now we have somewhere around 50 shows that we do on our network, and we're looking to get to about 100. So we're always looking for hosts, and quite honestly, back in the day, starting this up, I kind of just threw whatever to the wall, and now we're very selective on who we bring on.
Other than this show, you picked me, so
I picked you because you know what I mean. So
the
really,
other hosts are much better than that.
No, listen to him. We try to really select the people that we think that understand our community that we're building and. Understand educating. People do not want to be sold anything in today's world. They want to be educated to make good decisions in whatever they do. So we found that these 50 that we have are wonderful hosts and new ones that we've just brought on. And, like I said, we're looking for new show hosts. But, basically we do shows, lifestyle shows, business shows. We do some food shows. That are really popular. We try to have a good mixture of all different types of shows.
And really morning discussion shows. You've had celebrities on the shows. Who are some of the celebrities that have been interviewed on
we do these we do these hot topics that every morning on our morning coffee, which is a live broadcast, just like the news. And we've interviewed on these 10-minute windows. We do like Steve Harvey. We've interviewed when he was making his big Strayer University campaign. We interviewed him. We've interviewed Barbara Cochran from Shark Tank, which she's unbelievable. She's not. I know people kind of see her as on Shark Tank a certain way, but she's a fascinating, wonderful woman. If she comes across a little brash, that's because of Shark Tank. But she's really a great lady. We've interviewed Chad Pennington. He's another one. And then some, probably some names that people really don't know because they're not, in the face of TV or whatever. But we interview, people from Fidelity Investment, which are, they're a huge player in the market, but you never really hear those people's names, and they probably won't even know who they are.
And a lot of up and coming people too. I mean, people that who will be household names later. I mean, I know other shows have products, and so I mean, it's an amazing mix of folks. And now your audience, your viewing audience, is
Yeah, so our viewing audience, right now, we're about 850,000 viewers come to our network.
Wonderful.
Every month to see our shows. We're on the network's Roku, Apple TV, and we just signed an agreement to go to Fire Stick. Wonderful. And it's all on you'll be able to see all of our shows on our partners network called iFame.
Okay.
So our one partner, Rob Schwartz, shout out Rob. He's, very few people building this over the last 8 years are really, they're, kind of committed to their word.
Right.
Rob is probably one of the very few guys in the business world that I met that he is just solid as a rock. He, not too much stuff shakes him. He's just a good dude to be partners with. So I really appreciate it.
Well, and one of the wonderful things, and it's interesting because I obviously talked to a lot of family businesses, but working with you and Lori, your other half, who will join us hopefully soon. She's actually helping to run the studio. When we have the CEO here, we've got to have people behind the scenes, but. It's been great working with you because I can talk to Lori, and Lori's out, you're busy out, and then when you come home at night, you can have the conversations about. Now, when you go home, do you try to minimize those conversations about business, or since it's a family business, or do you still kind of conduct business when you get home?
Well, Lori really, she handles like the back end of stuff, just to help me out.
Right.
So, it's almost necessary that she asks me questions.
Right.
Sometimes I get a little frustrated, but, as an entrepreneur, as a visionary, so I'm a visionary guy.
Right. Right.
She's more,
she's the nuts and bolts. Lori's the nuts and bolts.
Detailed type person.
Right. So it's a great combination. It's a great combination.
But to me, like, she doesn't understand me when I think. And you know what, quite honestly, not a lot of people do, understand visionaries,
Right.
So it's a little tough in the conversation. It could be, stressful at
but
times.
Working with family businesses, that's part of it. That's the beauty and the challenge.
Yeah.
And in some ways, it's. I mean, I love the way the two of you mix because you are very different personalities. I think if you were the same personality, it might not work as well. And you've brought in other people on your team here. And I mean, RVN TV it's really, and I'm new to it. It's an amazing place.
Thank you.
And I think the potential is particularly great. Because we have our shows, and we have shows at a certain time, and this is 10 a.m. on Thursdays and 8 p.m. on Thursdays. But the streaming component that this can be eventually sent to anyone in the world is really powerful.
Yeah. Well,
who are your competitors? I mean, in the Northeast, are there? I don't know anybody that's really doing it the way you're doing it.
No, I mean, look, the competitors, and I don't call them competitors because I'm not at their level, and I don't want to ever be at their level. I mean. The people like with Hulu, Roku, those are streaming platforms that are at the top of the food chain. For me, I never want to be at that level. I always want to be, because we're Switzerland here.
Right.
We want to hear everybody's thoughts and everything. But I would rather be a feeder program to those people that are looking maybe to get to that level. Because when you get to that level, in the green room, we just heard one of our next guest coming on, and he's in the QVC world, and he was telling them how, he was short a couple thousand purchases on QVC, and they, talking about cutting the show.
Right.
Well, you don't have that here. because it's not about selling anything. It's really about educating. So it's a little different in our world. But I would, what I want to do is be able to be the farm system for a lot of hosts and everything that maybe they do get seen, in the bigger network, and maybe they're interested in purchasing a show or, stuff like that.
Well, but one of the things, and so one of the reasons I'm really excited about this show is that, the family businesses represent more than 60% of the employment, of the gross domestic product, and about 78% of the new employees. But more importantly, family businesses do things a different way. And so one of the problems with big, is that big in every industry doesn't work as well. And so in the entertainment industry, one of the challenges we have is that even with the news media, that they're corporate, and that there's certain things that impact the corporate brand, so they can't tell the truth. You and Lori are very relaxed, and you let people. You're not going to tell me what to say on my show or what to do. What other people, and so people are actually getting the information that they used to get, but now it's screened. Now it's processed, and so that's what I really like about what you're doing. Say a little more about that as you've looked. Was that one of the vision that you saw? You said we don't want the truth. We just want uncut.
Yeah, I mean, look, when people come on and start doing their shows, or the host or guests come on to talk, the first thing they say is, well, okay, what can I say and can't say, and you can say anything you want. I mean, as long as there's no profanity or whatever. In some of our shows, we might have a little bit of profanity, but look, I mean, it's really, we want your honest opinions of things. I believe that the world is really, we have to do some things because, I got 6 kids, and, at the end of the day, I'm a little fearful 50 years from now when I'm not here.
Right.
We have to start doing things to change our environment, and things like that. But I think that, for the table that's set for them, look at our politicians. They argue, they mudsling. That's not a way to solve problems.
Right, exactly.
You have to start listening to one another. We do as a country, as human beings, and I think that these types of platforms can do that, and change and give the voice. We want to work with the unions, right? Perfect example. Unions, people go by, they drive by, a picket line, and they got the big rats blown up there, right? People like picket signs saying crazy stuff.
Right.
Well, people are like, I just want to get my morning coffee. Like, what's going on, right? So we've pitched to the unions, hey, you know what? Come talk on TV, do a show, come talk on TV and tell why people, why you're upset. Because I know with my kids, when they were in high school, the colleges could come in and talk, the military could come in and talk, but those unions weren't coming in and talking to those kids. They're scared.
And there's some other groups that are. So we're going to take a short break, and then when we come back, hopefully we'll have the other half of the team to join us.
As a compliment, because it's our uncommon drive, our spark within, that brings us together and sets us apart. We are temple made. And when others take shortcuts, when others take breaks, when others take the easy way, we take charge.
Add us on social media to watch bloopers, behind the scenes footage, previews, and more.
I work 13 hours a day, 6 days a week. So when I'm off the clock, I gotta get stuff done. So when I need a snack, I need something healthy, tasty, and easy to eat. Like wonderful pistachios without the shells. They're protein-powered, delicious, and great on the go. And that's perfect for me. Thanks, Liz. A woman without a lot of time.
Whether you're a gourmet cook or just want to eat like one, visit Rostelli Market Fresh, your home for the freshest, locally sourced ingredients to please everyone who loves great food. Our organic meats, quality seafood, and free-range poultry are cut fresh to order. Chefs create culinary-inspired prep foods made fresh every day, which pair nicely with our vast selection of fine wines and spirits. Choose from handmade pastas, artisan cheeses, organic produce, and grocery items, all from the finest purveyors. Rostelli Market Fresh, from our family to yours.
RVN TV is a platform for people of any industry to share their story. Over 285,000 viewers are tuning in to RVN TV shows monthly. We guarantee a great experience that you'll be sharing with everyone you know while increasing your personal and company's brand awareness. But what is your brand? According to Forbes, it's a combination of your logo, your product, your design and feel, and your personality. Did you know that aside from being a guest, we offer even more opportunity to boost your brand? Adding your company logo and website on screen during your interview will allow viewers to recognize your brand instantly. Incorporating images and video clips is another great way to showcase your product during your live segment. Let viewers see how good you really are. And most importantly, there's you and your interview. For less than the cost of a newspaper, direct mail, or a magazine ad, you can leave our studio and within 48 hours have a permanent digital copy of your live segment to link to your social media, embed into your company website, or use in email marketing. Investing in your brand is so very important, and we can't wait to have you as a guest.
Shelter dogs aren't broken. They've simply experienced more life. If they were human, we would call them wise.
Hello, I'm Dale Caldwell, host of Family Business World. We're back with the Reynolds. Lori has just joined us. They're the owners of RVN TV that you're watching now. And so I wanted to kind of welcome Lori and just congratulate you. As I said, they're a dynamic duo. I'm new to this TV, but they both work together very well. Behind the scenes, operational, tactical, the visionary, and I'm sure there's conflict and so on, but they've put together something pretty amazing, and I think we're at the start. We're just at the beginning, I think. And so Lori, one of the things that that you've been here and you've been behind the scenes. Tell me a little bit about your experiences here with working with people. You seem to keep the trains running. So you have to deal with all different personalities, and how do you do that? How do you work with a variety of, and virtually everybody's a type A, right? Everybody who has their own show is a type A. How do you deal with the different type A's?
I've worked with a few type A's over the years. Before I hurt my back and stuff, and I was working in the work in work field, I had all customer service. Pretty much everything I ever did was customer service background, whether it was for doctors, banking, lawyers. So I've worked with a lot of people. So when he set this up, it was kind of easy to help him put things in place so that everyone that works for him can kind of follow a format and just kind of keep it moving smoothly.
And you're technologically, you're amazing. I don't know how I would go crazy with all the different files and the formats and the changes and the internet and that thing. And I understand, between the two of you have 6 kids.
Yeah.
And so you're able to run, a major TV network and that kind of stuff, and then go home and talk work. And so what's your secret? What's your secret of success? You work together, you live together. I know it's not easy, but what's your relationship secret of success? The two of you, either of you.
I mean, my inspiration is really my turbo. So,
there you go. That's
his
my
turbo,
boy,
his dog.
my dog. He's, I talk to him. Really, I don't really talk. She's sitting in the room. I talk to him, and she answers.
I do. I do.
You talk to her through him.
That's right.
So that's a communication secret. So
but no, you know what? I mean, look. For family-owned businesses, if you try to tell us you don't take things home, that's insane.
Right. Exactly.
It just happens. From getting up in the morning to the car ride home to getting there and fixing dinner, you're talking about business. It just is what it is.
Right.
Part of the key is taking separate vehicles to work.
Right.
You know, he comes in early. You know, I'm getting the kids to school and whatever, and you know, and depending on how I'm feeling, I may just stay home and work from home some days. I don't always feel up to, you know, coming in and hanging out, and you know, so sometimes I help him from home. You know, whether it's the comfort of laying on the couch or, you know, but you know, and just knowing when to shut it off. And
Right. You
sometimes it's like, okay, it's enough. I don't want to hear any more about it today.
Right.
Like, just we'll deal with it tomorrow. I can't. I don't want
think
to hear
that's a
anymore.
big thing, you know. 7 days a week, you know, people are sending emails, questions, everything, and it doesn't stop.
No.
But as you know, I mean, I think that's with any business owner. You have to shut it off.
Yep.
So, you know, when it's family time, my phone is usually, because it dies of battery, and I leave it off. But I won't answer my phone. I won't have my phone on me, and you know, because I just, you know, it's family time, and you want to talk.
Mine's always on.
Hers is always on. You know, and social media too. So
No, whatever.
And you're disciplined. But one of the things, and as this show grows, you know, conflict is so much a part of family businesses, and if they can overcome that conflict, doesn't mean everybody gets along, but if they can overcome that conflict, that's half the battle. But I even experienced, I know early on we were setting up this show and some things, and you know, I had to send something late to Lori and said, I'll just ask Keith. You know, instead of saying I got to wait till Monday morning to do that, I'll just ask Keith, and that's very, very powerful. One of the other things that's really that I really want to celebrate in family business is you give back to the community. I mean, one of the things, you know, your drive, you want to make a profit, you want to do well. But it isn't all about money. It isn't all about squeezing out every dime. And we're in a society that people think if you're not getting the maximum money, then you're failing. And so that's it. Tell me how you've given back to the community. You've done some amazing things.
Well, you know, she will say money. I will, you know, I mean, I'm more, you know, the person I feel like, you know, with the give back stuff. I mean, like, you know, besides our 6 kids, we have 5 dogs.
But 6 kids and 5
5
dogs.
dogs.
And you're still running this business. It's amazing.
Yep, we do. So we have we do animal shows here.
Yeah.
And 2 of them came home with us because they wouldn't leave her alone.
Oh,
so
wow.
we figured.
Yeah. So there's
And
my.
they look alike. Those 2 look alike.
Oh, that's so
but you know, we try to do that. You know, we're really trying to work with the fostering community. You know, to really help, because you know, for what we do or we own, you know, we binge watch a lot of stuff because we like to see what people are doing and different storylines.
Right.
So we binge watched this show called The Fosters.
Okay.
And you know, it was, you know, look, it's tough out there. When you age out of the fostering programs, you're out.
Right.
So we're trying to work on some properties that we can house foster kids.
Oh, wonderful.
And you know, one of the properties would be to help, you know, kids in this industry,
That are interested
entertainment,
in, you know,
entertainment, stuff like that. And then the other house that we're trying to get is more driven because there's a vineyard on it.
Right. Oh, wow.
So kids with horticulture experience or want to be in that,
Agricultural.
or agricultural,
Culinary.
stuff like that.
love it.
So we're just trying to make a difference. I mean, when I created this thing, you know, 8 years ago, you know, I said I wanted to change the world, and a lot of people laughed at me, incling her, and maybe Turbo.
I laugh at him all the time. I laugh at him all the time.
You know, but you know, really, I mean, because you know, we really have to do something.
Right.
I think that there's, I won't say dark times are coming, but we just have to do better for you know, the people that are going to be here after us.
Right.
And you know, right now I'm just worried.
Yeah.
I think that we're not. I mean, how much have we changed since, you know, the 16th century? So we like essentially 16th century.
Yeah, we like
movie.
those old shows.
Those shoes, you know. But
Historical
you know, some of the government activities. I mean, how different it is the king sending his guys down into the village and taking taxes, right?
Not a lot.
Right.
It's not different.
It's not much
you know
different.
what I mean? And in today's world, we should be different.
Yeah.
We can live better. We can live longer. And there's just a lot of stuff that I think we really need to do better, though.
Well, and so I have, as you know, I'm executive director of the Rothman Institute of Innovation and Entrepreneurship at Fairleigh Dickinson University, and family businesses are one of our specialties, as well as veteran businesses. And I wrote a book on influence called Intelligent Influence. So I have a consulting practice focused on all that exists is influence, that there is no reality other than influence. Our favorite food, our sports teams, our music are all influence.
Right.
And so one of the reasons I really want to do this show and really is because family businesses not only comprise most of the employees, they're more likely to do what you just talked about. They're more likely to give back to the community.
Right.
My dad knew in March with Dr. King. I have a picture of my dad with Ralph Abernathy and Dr. King when they were organizing it was a press conference to march in Boston to integrate the Boston public schools. So I come from this trying to give back. And so I've seen the love and family businesses that they're the group that actually can begin to change the world.
Right.
And that really begin to hire people who are unemployable, to give back to the community, to support that. And you're living that. But you're doing it not just for yourself, but by doing this network, you're allowing people to give back to a community. And I think family businesses, and it sounds, actually can be the savior. You know, we're often looking at, I like to say what I call people up instead of, people say bottom up, but I say people up instead of top down. We've lived in a world that's top down, that you have the rich and the powerful dictating networks and dictating businesses and dictating government, when in reality, average people have been forgotten.
Yeah.
And so I really see your show and I see this whole family business thing to really be part of it. So given that, we talked about some of the challenges in the few minutes we have with some of the government and bureaucracy. You want to share some of those? You don't have to go into specifics, but it's been hard, right? I mean, there are people who've gotten in the way of you being successful.
Yeah, I mean, there's times. I mean, look, but
Sometimes you're in your own way.
I mean, I always tell it, that's one of the things we say, there's business owners out there that, I hate the word recession. You know what? Recession is a word for business owners that didn't get out of their own way and the recession got me.
Right.
No, dude, you got yourself because you have to find ways around it. Every day you're faced with something.
Right.
Have
Something
that out of the box thinking
Yeah,
sometimes.
I mean, and you know what? You can't look at that the world's picking on you. It's not picking on you. It's just the way it is. And yes, it's frustrating. And there's times where, sometimes I'm just like, forget this. Let's just go.
Right.
I'm gonna close up shop, and me and Turbo are gonna go live in Bahamas.
Him and Turbo.
Yeah, me and Turbo are gonna live in the Bahamas.
Snaggle too.
But no, seriously, I just I think there's just too much blame out there. Even honestly, people of color. I just what? Yeah, there's racism out there, but it will never define me. And I'll never let anybody define me as a human being or as a business person. So I don't allow those things to creep into my head. Once in a while.
Yeah, sometimes, I watched him over the years, and he's, he's got his highs, and other times, he's down. And when he's down, I just give him his space and let him work it out, and just, you'll be all right. And then, give him a couple days, and I go, you all right now? And he's all right now.
I guess.
And then, and then you kind of have to, like you said, sometimes you got to shut it down and just, you got to laugh. And like you said before about laughing.
Yeah.
Even the kids, like you said, I laugh at him a lot. But a lot of times it's getting the kids to laugh at him and laugh with him. And
yeah, and that's
and
another
it's
thing. You
kinda
speak of that, like, what's really helpful for me is, we're the owners of the business, but, and Lori's really part-time because of, her injuries, she really can't be a employee of ours. But, my Benjamin, our youngest boy, who's 20 now, my baby.
My baby bear.
This very studio and every studio we've been in, him and his buddies have helped me create these sets.
Oh, really? Design it. Help to design it.
Design it.
I really have to say to Benjamin, he has been
and
a blessing.
So is he heir apparent? Is this going to be the next generation? Does it seem like
no,
somebody?
He's not into this
not
world.
Into this at all, but
but he'll come over.
I bet one of the six will.
Yeah, I mean, well, you know what? Our boys, and Ben's been more than anybody, but our other boys have been over here and in other studios helping, and the girls are here or on their days off, and they love Ava, who's already in this world. She watches YouTube.
She's 39.
And she tells it, she tells me what's going on in YouTube and, the different things. And, so she's in, like, they're making videos and doing their thing.
This is the world.
She's the world. So, if anybody's going to take it over.
She'll say, give him, like, why don't you do this with the set, Daddy?
Yeah, so.
He's like, that's a good
So
idea.
it's a real family. I mean, you're involved. We have the kids involved. We have the dogs involved. So this is
the dogs come with me sometimes.
Yeah. So and but back to your question about the government and hurdles and everything. I mean, listen, a lot of people think it's the people down in D.C. Local government can hold you up too. You got inspections, stuff like that. You got it like getting permits. I mean, it's been crazy.
Well, it's. I mean, and one of the reasons we're gonna, I guess, we have to wrap up soon. But one of the reasons I ask that is it's not so much that people are evil or they're the bad. And so one of the other hopes with this show is that we will let the powers that be to understand how important and what family businesses are. And frankly, it's not necessarily their fault. Family businesses have been so busy they can't speak up and yell and say, what about us? Why are you putting these regulations on us? You're preventing us from helping your cause.
Sure.
And so as you think about what you've created, what one or two words comes to mind as to close the show? RVN TV. Hope everybody will continue to watch it.
Well, we call it your personal network.
There you go. I love it.
Yeah,
because it's a niche market out there where, look, we love Netflix. It's a streaming network, but it's really about movies and some docuseries. But we're, a streaming network also, but we really, we're more educational, and we give people the opportunity to talk about what's going on in their world.
Wonderful. So I always like to end with our tagline now is watch family owned. So thank you all very much, and we'll see you next week.